So I just started a new series where I'm combining two of my passions, K-pop and fitness, into one. And I'm doing reactions to K-pop idols and some of their fitness routines. And so we're gonna be continuing this series with another workout from the workout queen herself, Kazuha from SSERAFIM. And we're gonna be checking out her abs and hips workouts. And if you don't know SSERAFIM, first of all, where have you been? This group is taking over. They're an incredible group and one of my favorite K-pop groups. But Kazuha in particular has a solid background in ballet, where she was a professional ballerina and was actually scouted while she was touring internationally. And so she knows all about, a strong core and really strengthening those hips. And so I'm excited as a fitness expert who has been personal training for over a decade, who also has a dance background and took years of ballet. I'm excited to see what she has in store for her core and hips. And so with that, let's get into today's video. This is Devin from D-Rock Fitness, and welcome to my channel that's all about helping you train smarter, optimize your performance, and creating your fitness blueprint. So before we get into today's video, make sure and hit that like and that subscribe button and ding that bell so you get notified whenever I'm dropping more awesome content. And with that, let's get into today's video.
네, 안녕하세요. 오늘은 뭘 하러
I feel like I have to wave. When somebody waves or smiles at me, I always feel like I have to wave or smile too. Let me know down in the comments below if you're the same way.
2025년 버전에
So 2025 ab routine. Oh, ab and glutes, okay. Get that core nice and tight. This is perfect because it's summertime.
그리고 또 저희 신곡 스파게티.
Okay, and they're doing it for spaghetti, which this is such great cross promotion.
화이팅 해봅시다. 화이팅.
These people know what they're doing.
자, 시작했습니다.
Looks like they're at the dance studio. Okay, so starting with this seated knee ups.
처음에는 이렇게 양다리를 이렇게 폈다 구부렸다가 하시면 돼요.
So this is a pretty tough movement already starting off. We are not messing around.
제껴도 괜찮은 것 같아요.
Like she was saying, you can play around with your levels if you lean back more and make it more challenging.
설마 이거 시작인데 여기서 힘들면 안 돼요, 여러분.
I love the talking head in the corner too. This just makes it add an extra commentary. Okay, leg raises with the pulse at the top.
이렇게 다리를 올렸다가 엉덩이까지 천장으로.
That's a really tough one. If you have problems with doing that, what you can do is you can bend your knees and do the same motion with a bent knee.
올렸다가 엉덩이까지 아랫배에 힘을 주면서 하면은 더 효과가 좋습니다. 벌써 세 번째 동작입니다.
Third movement.
다음에는 이렇게
Knee up, so kind of like a variation of the bicycle.
구부렸다.
What I love with how she's doing it is she's really slowing it down so that you can really make sure the movement is coming from your core. Because a lot of times people speed through it, and so they're not actually really
동작을 소중하게 생각하면서
keeping the core braced during the movement. So when you go slow, you can contract and contract as you're doing it.
슬슬 열이 올라오나요? 네, 다음에는 이렇게 제트 플립처럼 이렇게
Oh, Z flips?
구부렸다 하시면 됩니다.
Okay, that's what
제트 플립이 된 것처럼 하시면
Once
됩니다.
again, just like I said before, if you need to modify, you can bend your knees to make it a little bit easier. It's a tough one. She's really getting that core working already.
벌써 다음 거. 이거는
Doing that crossover.
반대 손을 만나시면 됩니다.
So bring that opposite hand to your feet. So we're starting to get those obliques starting to work with this one. I do like that at least you can let one of your legs rest during this. But if you want to make it more challenging, you can keep your feet hovering the whole time. But I don't know if you would be able to do it after all the other exercises that you've already done.
다음 동작. 이거는
Okay, going into that cross crunch, we're bringing that knee to that elbow.
이것도 배에 힘을 느끼면서 하시면 돼요.
I like her little cueing, talking about really engaging the core. Oh, Pearlies, I love this song.
이렇게 당겨오는 느낌. 지금 복근이 두 개로 갈라지고 있습니다. 다음 동작은
heel taps. So heel taps is one of my favorite core exercises that I will make my clients do because it's one of those, it's hard to cheat it and it's easy for anybody to film. And so with it, you can make it more challenging by scooting your feet further away, or if you make it easier, bring your feet closer, but you're actually literally tapping your heels. So you're at the top back crunch position.
벌써 다음 거다. 자, 이제부터는 힙 운동입니다.
Okay, doing our hip raises, but starting with those heels lifted.
그러면은 조금 더
So now we're going
힘내봅시다.
into those glutes and she's dropping it down and pressing it up. Okay, alternating.
하실 수 있을 분은 이렇게 포인트로 다리를 포인트로.
What I always tell people, make sure you squeeze your glutes at the very top, so you're driving it up, squeeze, and then you're releasing it down.
들어가서 좋습니다. 다음에는 한쪽 다리를 한쪽 무릎에다가 이렇게 걸쳐서 숫자 4가 된 것처럼.
So these are kind of a variation of our single leg glute bridges. Pressing them up. But then you can also press that knee that's up. You can press that down to kind of get into those hip flexors and get like a little bit of a stretching. So you have the opposition. Your hips going up, your knee pressing down, so you can get a deep stretch into some of those smaller muscles.
또 반대편도.
But these are tough. Like, she's making it look really easy. But she's a pro, so she's supposed to make it look easy.
너무
It's not.
대단하잖아요. 그래서 여기서 포기하면 이게 다 없어지는 거예요. 이래도 되는 거예요. 화이팅, 화이팅.
Little dance break, sorry. I really do like this song though.
이렇게 몸이 테이블
Leg lifts, okay.
몸이 책상이 된 것처럼 이렇게.
Whenever I tell people when they're doing leg lifts, it's to really make sure that you're lifting from your glute with that mind-body connection. Because a lot of times some people focus on the heel and how high they can get it, that they're not actually activating the motion from our glutes. So I say just think of really lifting from our glutes. And obviously your leg will not go that high unless you're a professional ballerina. No, just kidding.
이거 하면 마지막 동작입니다.
And so that's what I would tell people is just, you know, even when I'm showing examples, and I don't think that I'm super flexible, I'm decently flexible, that I tell people it's not about the height, it's about feeling that muscle, mind-body connection with those glutes.
자, 마지막, 이제 마지막입니다.
And going into those plank twists.
이제는 여러분도
So dropping those hips side to side. When I tell people when they're doing any plank to really contract and brace that core as you're dropping your hips towards the floor.
영원히 해주시면 됩니다. 지금 복근이 엄청 자극을 받고 있어요. 내일 일어나면 11자가 엄청 예쁜 사람이 되는 거예요.
And then just going into that standard plank. Once again, I'm telling people during the plank, squeeze your glutes, like contract, actually feel your core working. Because some people just hold planks, but they're like, they don't feel it in their core because they're not activating it. So.
축하드립니다. 당신은 대단하고 대단해. 오늘도 고생 많으셨습니다. 예. 네, 여러분 잘 나오셨을까요? 사실 근육 운동을 한 군데만 많이 하는 게 좋다는 얘기도 있지만은 시간이 없을 때 딱 한 10분만 있다 이럴 때 복근도 하고 싶은데 힙도 하고 싶다 이럴 때 제가 소개해드린 영상을 참고해서 해봤으면 좋겠습니다. 화이팅! 그리고 저희 신곡 스파게티도 많이 사랑해주세요. 많이 들어주세요.
eat it out. So I thought that that was a really solid ab and glute hip workout and routine. I love that it was kind of quick, 7 minutes, you're like in and out. We were powering through movement to movement. One of the things that I would say with the different things that I saw is that this was a little bit on the more, like, I would say intermediate side of things. And so just keeping in mind the different cueing that I had mentioned about bending the knees a little bit if you need to. One of the things that I see a lot when I am working with clients, and especially when we're working on things like the core, is what I try to talk to them about is quality over quantity. And what I mean by that is you want to make sure that you have that mind-body connection, and that when you are doing things like crunches, holding a plank or whatnot, that the movement is happening from the core, happening from your abs, or happening when we're doing those glute bridges, are coming from those glutes, and that you're not just like pulling your neck or doing different things like that, which I see a lot of people will do. Is they'll be like, oh, when they're doing crunches, they'll be like, oh, my neck is feeling a little tired or whatnot, and it's because what's happening is they're pulling from their neck and they're lifting from the neck, and then the byproduct is that their abs, they start to feel in their abs because they're getting into that crunching motion, as opposed to contracting from your abs, and your neck just follows along. And so with these different movements that were going on with this, that would be one of the main things that I would say, is to really make sure that you're focusing in on what the muscle group that you're trying to hit. So when it's the abs, when it's the obliques, when it's those glutes, that you're initiating the exercise and the movement from those different body parts, and not just thinking of the end results, but you're thinking of that contraction, that lifting of the glute and whatnot. And to also not be afraid to take a break when you need to. Even though it was 30 seconds, but it was like 30 seconds back to back. And on a lot of those exercises, especially if you're not used to bracing your core, or your core is a little bit weaker, and especially when she's starting with a lot of her legs that are lifted, you're already using different muscles in your abs, in your core, with just holding it there. So when you add that motion and going back to back, that can be quite a bit. So what I always tell people is, it's better to take a second, or take a couple seconds, readjust, and then get back into it, making sure that you're doing it the proper way, as opposed to just trying to push through it, because then you're not really getting the full benefits of the exercises. So that would be one of my notes. And another note that I would have is that with some of these things that you're doing, you might not have the range of emotion that Kazuha has, because once again, her thing is flexibility, range of motion, and strength. And as you are starting on your fitness journey, if you're watching videos like this, or videos from any other content creator that has like a background in dance or different things, their body, the way that they move is gonna look different than you, and that's okay. But you can't have that same expectation that when you're doing like the glute kickbacks and different things, that your leg is gonna get that high, because it's just not, because you're not a professional ballerina. If you are, congrats, and you get that leg up as high as you can. You whack the back of your head if you want to, but to just know that your range of motion might be a little bit different, and that's okay, and that you don't have to try and do it the exact same way, or have that expectation of your leg or anything. Because like I was saying in the video, I have clients, when I'm showing them these different exercises that are similar, or even these same ones that were in this video, they're like, whoa, that doesn't look like it when I do it. And I'm like, well, I have a dance background, I do Pilates, I do yoga, so I do have fairly good flexibility. So that's okay. You don't need to have your movement look exactly like that. You just need to make sure that you're engaging the muscles like you should. But I thought that this was a really, really solid, like I said, solid workout, and it was really good bang for your buck. 7 minutes in and out, you really hit the abs, hitting some glute stuff. I thought that this was really, really solid. And this would be a great way, once again, simple ways of adding some different core stuff, and I love that it was core, because a lot of times people think core, they just think of abs. So I love that we got some glute work in there too, as well, because that's part of your core. And so I definitely think that incorporating different things like this into your fitness blueprint is key. So even if it's doing like 5 minutes at the end of your workout where you're doing some core stuff, and I love that they had some very dynamic movement, but then had some very static holds. And I think that that's a really great combination. So let me know down in the comments below, who should I react to next? What K-pop idol workout should I check out? And make sure and hit that like and that subscribe button so I know, and leave a comment down below so I know that you like this type of content, because I will be releasing, every Wednesday I release a different video like this. So make sure and follow along, and let me help you on your fitness journey so that you can train smarter, optimize your performance, and create your fitness blueprint.